The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. It was clear and sunny, with the fresh warmth of a full summer day. The flowers were in bloom, and the grass was richly green. The people of the village began to gather in the square, between the post office and the bank, around 10 o'clock in the morning. The men stood together, talking and laughing, while the women, wearing faded house dresses, wore aprons and stood with their children. The children played, making a game of collecting stones in a pile. The lottery was conducted by Mr. Summers, a jovial man who had been conducting the lottery for many years. He was the one who spoke the words to announce the start of the event. He approached the black wooden box, which had been used for the lottery for as long as anyone could remember. The box was old and weathered, and its sides were worn. Mr. Summers placed it on a stool in the middle of the square. The villagers gathered around in a circle, eagerly awaiting the drawing. Mr. Summers spoke up. "I hope you folks are all ready. Let's get started." He shook the black box, and from it, he drew out a piece of paper. One by one, he called up each family, and they came forward to draw from the box. The atmosphere was tense, but no one spoke. The lottery had been a tradition for as long as anyone could remember, and no one questioned it. As the names were drawn, the crowd remained hushed, watching intently. When it was the turn of Bill Hutchinson's family, his wife, Tessie, nervously joined him at the box. They drew their slip of paper, and to the horror of Tessie, her husband Bill was holding the marked paper. Her heart sank as the townspeople began to murmur. "No!" Tessie screamed. "It isn't fair!" She ran toward Mr. Summers, shouting that the lottery had been conducted unfairly. But the others only stared, their faces impassive. As Tessie pleaded, the crowd moved toward her. She looked to her children, but they stood quietly, as if they had known the outcome all along. The men began to pick up the stones from the pile that the children had made earlier. Without hesitation, the townspeople closed in on Tessie. They stoned her to death, the stones striking her with brutal force. The villagers, cold and emotionless, continued with the ritual as if it were the most ordinary thing in the world. Tessie's screams were drowned out by the chorus of stones hitting her body, and within moments she was silenced. The crowd dispersed as quickly as it had gathered, and the lottery was over for another year. Only the cold, empty square remained. The end. The true horror of the lottery lies in its twist ending and the brutal commentary on the dangers of unquestioned tradition. The townspeople, despite the cruelty of the ritual, accept it without challenge, demonstrating how societal norms can become dehumanizing when people fail to question them.